Hey yo guys, what's going on and welcome back to York City. Hope you had a lovely weekend. It's fair to say we've had a season of two halves. This is the 2024 part of the season, the first half. Middlesbrough 1-0 cut off the top, but 4 wins plus the Middlesbrough 5 wins out of 5 at the start of the season, and then 4 wins for the rest of that part of the year. These are the results in the 2025 part of the season. Yeah, I can't really explain it. But anyway, there's an FA Cup quarter-final now to deal with, so I'll see you for that. But first, of course, the 2 matches we've played since we last met. The 2-1 victory over Swansea. So we might have beaten league leaders Leeds 4-1. Could have been 5. Could have been 5. Victor shot missed a penalty in injury time, and also missed out on his hat-trick in the same process. So, congratulations there. Well, yeah, 4-1 does sort of reflect the gameplay. It's not like we took our chances. We actually had more of them against the league leaders, Leeds. It's hard to say that quickly. Blackburn 2-2, because that's the team we can't beat. I mean, it's the first draw we've had in the league since December the 29th, so we're 5th, basically. We're 5th, and we're 2 points clear of Crystal Palace in 7th. Whilst we haven't really lost a lot, it's fair to say the rest of the people in the running for the playoffs are very much having what I call the I don't really want to get into Europe syndrome that seems to be going on in the Premier League the last couple of years, where all the teams that can maybe sneak into 4th, 5th and 6th just don't really want it. Teams like Brentford, Fulham, Luton, Crystal Palace, at one point were well clear of us. Well clear. And now we have points advantages on them. I don't know what they're doing. I really do not know what they're doing. But we've capitalised and now we're 5th. West Brom, who were promoted in the first simulator season, via the playoffs in fact, have managed to stay up and are done quite handily in general in the seasons since. 13th, 7th, 10th and 9th. In the process of a board takeover. Have they already had one? No. In which case, I can't really work out how they've managed this. Now, there's a couple of things to contend with here. Number one, apparently our best player by far, Byron Davila, is a little bit tired, but we'll deal with it. But the rest of the news is basically all good news. Wilson is back from being banned from this competition. We've actually progressed far enough in it that his 3-match ban is over. That's surprising. Number 2, Victor Shot is scoring, which is good news. And number 3, of course, this match does not matter about English players, so we can put whoever we want on the bench. In fairness, it doesn't change too much. Now, the issue I have right now is Dutra is technically back, but A, he's still returning to fitness, and B, his actual match sharpness isn't back yet either. So we will pursue with Jeronen for the time being. We will be sticking to Dutra, of course, trying to get his sharpness back up via other matches. But the team for this will be Jeronen, Davila, Borges, Edgar, Shaw, Wilson, Nacelle and Carter still. Alonso, just because Madeira's form is largely indifferent. Alonso's last 5 isn't brilliant either. Madeira never back in the inside forward roles and Shot up front. We are away. I've just realised I forgot to take myself off positive after playing 2 games at home. We will change that immediately as we get in here. Away from home, media, credit. 3 things. So this is actually strangely a little different to what we've faced so far, remarkably, in the sense that West Brom are actually a team with not a lot of threat of being relegated from the Premier League, unlike the last 2 opponents we played, although they have started with a player who seems to be very tired, and within 16 seconds we had a shot. Great play until the finish. Classic. Yeah, that Undengi is quite tired from the off, which is interesting that they've started him in that sense. Now, Carter smashes that through to Shot, who is quite good at rounding players. Sort of vaguely does it there and then smashes wide. A couple of his goals in recent games have been rounding the keeper, and we have got the championship on. I don't know if there's any FA Cup matches playing right now. This might be the point where they stop doing them all simultaneously because there's only 4 of them left, of course. Nacelle, Wilson, back outwards again. This highlight started with the corner, so it may well lead to something as we work around the defence, hopefully. No, back to Shaw. Intercepted. I could see that happening before he was even at the interception. But they have had been forced back to their defence, so it's not quite an immediate counter-attack, as it goes all the way back to their goalkeeper instead. Now Salteldo on the far side over here. Hounded by Shao. Gets past Shao. Not his best work. Has run all the way inside and wide. And wide. Even game so far. So whilst they've done particularly well, there's only a couple of names I do sort of recognise. Charlie Taylor at left back. Kevin Mbabu at right back, of course. Mbabu is a very good right back, actually. So that's a heck of a signing on their part. I do recognise the name Zeka from the game, really, rather than from real life. And they've scored. Lewis Foreman, new gen, 19 goals for the season. He's quite good. I don't really check out their team too much in the start of this, so we will do this once we've watched the highlight. He scored 19 goals this season. He seems to be pretty decent as he heads that in the near post after really not being marked at all. And we're going to see with lines because that's important. Yes, he's onside. Fantastic. We knew he's onside. The goals counted. Yeah, £10,000 per week, 21 million he's worth. On loan from Man United. That makes sense. 18 goals in 32 appearances. Pretty good going. A scout in case he's available next year. Shot may be in form now, but I would like a player who has 19 goals in a season rather than 10. That's for certain. Ebbers back. As we looked for a way to get back in this, there's no real point going positive just yet. Shot, no need to get drastic. We're only half an hour into this game. Ebbers back. Punches it across. Not the word I was looking for. Gonçalves back out again to Shao this time. Inwards once more. Back out to Shao. Nicely worked past number 16, who makes no real attempt to do anything defensive there. And we capitalise quite nicely from that fact. It's almost like Soteldo realised how mugged off he got there. And was like, well, fair play. Let him have it. He's certainly on attacking mentality. That's for sure. Zero attempt to defend that. Intriguingly, their goalkeeper's on a 7.0, having made exactly the same number of saves as ours has. I'll have a look at what Giron's is at the end of this highlight, but I suspect it's not a 7. Foreman's back through again. Soteldo's made up for his mistake. I stopped making noise. Oh, goal review. There's a goal review. Foreman is the one who was offside and all that. No, Soteldo was. Didn't get to see with lines or anything, but apparently he was offside. Didn't look it. He looked like he was behind his striker. But we'll take it any day of the week. Ndengue, Rodrigo, Carter, Davila, Carter, Gonçalves, through to Shot, back forward again to Carter. Still Carter, through us. Well, that was kind of impressive, actually. First time, smashes it. By the way, I do apologise if I sound a little off. It's just because I am recovering from a bit of an illness. Not that. It's one of those moments where I am super glad I decided to start recording in advance for other reasons. Because, fantastic. Because if I hadn't, you may have missed out on episodes Thursday, Friday, at the very least. Because that's when it kind of kicked in a little bit. I could feel it brewing, and then it kind of struck me towards the end of the week. I am now on the outbound side of this illness, so I should be okay. Just a little bit under the weather. Just sort of coldy, fluey nonsense, but not that. Nowhere near as serious to be that. Anyone watching this in the future is going to be like, what's that? Don't bother. Don't get complacent. Reasonable team talk. We'll take it. Ah, yes, he's on a 6.8. There, he's on a 7.1 despite conceding 2 goals. Logic. Can we fix the goalkeeper ratings? Oh, by the way, the Leeds goal was a free kick. Wasn't even from open play. That's how well we played in that match. It took me by surprise, even though we've done quite well in general. Like the teams at the very top, we've struggled a little bit against. Like we lost to Leeds, we lost to Sheffield Wednesday, we lost to Sheffield United. But at home, Bastos' first goal of the season. I'm pretty certain he's a defender, so I'm not going to get too angry at that. As it's an equaliser, kind of forgot the importance of that goal for a moment there. What on earth is he? Sorry, who was on the post? He wasn't even looking at it. And I'm pretty certain, obviously there's no replays. Madeira's been indifferent again. Madeira, start of this season, sensational when we weren't actually playing well entirely. And Davila is starting to get a bit tired. Shower's even more tired than him. We'll just make the one change because this will go to extra time. I think. Shao is really, really starting to get a bit tired now, so we will bring Burrows on in that regard. And Evans back on the other side. Lee Tao. Yeah, go on then. If I get a full sub, then that's great. Probably King, because I think his penalties are alright. Should it come to that. Like, in terms of the total saves made by their goalkeeper now, it's sort of more... Even though he's conceded 2, he's made a lot more saves than ours has, somehow. They're 10th in the Premier League. Speaking of penalties... Okay then, 86 minutes on the clock. nearly 87, but probably will be by the time he takes it. Straight in. We've gone to West Brom. We've had 60% of the possession. We've had 10 shots on target. No clear-cut chances. And scored twice. Yeah, great penalty. Fantastic. It's an FA Cup. Just attack them. Oh, hello. There's a highlight. Yeah, we've had 3 half chances. They've had three clear-cut chances. It's 3-2. That makes sense. Like, in terms of the general stats, 60% possession, 18 to 10, 10 to 6. You'd feel hard done by losing this one until you looked at the chances. That's why I have them on, because it stops me getting, like, irrationally angry at things like this. Lee Town nearly equalises. There's another highlight. Oh, God, they're testing my heart right now. Davila. Oh, he's offside. Right, okay, then what's the point of this highlight? Got to be going somewhere. Mbabu, one of the best young right-backs, I would say. Moroni. Obviously, this is a few years in, so he's probably sort of edging towards his prime, in his prime by now. I don't think he's quite as young as I think he is. Lee Tao. Nacelle. Back to good old Mbabu again. He's in this move quite a lot. It might end up being a chance for them. Mbabu. Yep. Alonso dodges that one. What a waste of time. Craig Wright from 442. I predicted the game would go to penalties before the match. And to be honest, I'm surprised West Brom managed to win this one without having to suffer the dreaded penalty shootout. Now, in fairness to the match, that might be accurate. They are comfortably Premier League. We are somehow in the playoffs of the Championship. Craig Wright might need to do a little bit more research before making silly statements like this. I don't understand. When we're playing a team that we're better than, they're like, oh, I'm so surprised York managed to win this one. And when we're playing a team that we are clearly second favourites to, they go, oh, I'm very surprised York haven't managed to get something out of this one. I mean, they're consistent in the fact that they're always wrong. They gave it your best. Well done. Now, I don't know what it is about us. We seem to be a bit of an FA Cup specialist. We get like one round further on every time. In fairness, we enter in one round further on every time because we seem to get promoted every year. At this point, it's getting quite annoying, if I'm honest. Because obviously this year, we've had this form, and I'm surprised someone hasn't accused me at this point. But because of how vocal I've been about how I don't want to get into the Premier League next year, if I now bottle this, I'm probably going to get accused. I can't win either way now. I've realised I've just backed myself into a corner. If we win out, then I'll get accused of overachieving somehow through other means. And if I don't get through, I'm going to get accused of bottling it on purpose. You for York, come unstuck. See, when they do this, it makes me feel bad. But you look at the clear-cut chances and they had them and they took them. I'm not mad. Well done, Carter, by the way. I said I'd bring you Birmingham. Screw it, we will. It was quite highlight full, that match, but we'll still bring you it. So, good news, bad news on that front. Everyone else has now played their match for this week because ours is delayed because of that FA Cup match. We're still in the playoffs no matter what happens. Luton have capitalised. No one else has. It's like nobody wants to win. So, we're at Birmingham, not too far from where we've just been, of course. You might have noticed, whilst I was talking on the banner above, there's a bit of an issue that's happened here. Now, it says there's 3 players away on international duty. Chow, Davila, Gironan. That's an underestimation. They've got their own issues, thank God, but they asked if I could postpone this match. At the time, there was only 3 people of importance that were on that list. Dutra, who was still returning to fitness anyway, and 2 of the strikers, which only left us with 2. Thought, this will be fine, no issues. And then, of course, 3 days later, they give me a list of 6 other people who are going to be on international duty, all of which matter. Also, Gonçalves is suspended because he picked up 10 yellow cards. So this is my situation. See you in about 5 minutes once I've worked out this puzzle. So in fairness, actually, in terms of the first 11, that was pretty straightforward. Amusingly, though, the 7 people on the bench are literally the only 7 people here that aren't injured or suspended. Everyone else is away on international duty. I have 7 remaining players. Oh dear, including one who I'm pretty certain is here on a rolling contract. Still, he just won't leave now. Trafford's in goal. By Stammel, Borges, Edgar and Sergi at right back. Probably only appearance before he leaves at the end of the year. Squires takes over the anchorman role with Carter and Nacelle in the midfield. That bit's unchanged. Madeira and Ebersbach still fine. They're still here. Gee, Alonso. Oh, of course he's Andorran. I always think he's Spanish. Yeah, that makes sense. South up front. Davis is on the bench. Smallwoods is on the bench. Rose is on the bench. Realistically, Van Gastel, Collins and Litau, and maybe Davis might be ones coming off that bench at some point. Much we love Richie. Only really his mentals we care about. I think we need to be slightly less positive too. Birmingham might not be in the playoff hunt, but we aren't exactly playing full strength here, so let's not get too aggressive because fullback-wise, we're a little weak. It's a shame about Feistammer, really. One of those ones where we developed faster than needed. Theoretically, he could have reached this level at some point. He just didn't have enough time to do it before we got here. Expectation? Oh, that worked. I'm expecting a win here. I'm really not. Like, in terms of the game, a point will be fine. I'll take any result out of this madness. As I think we just smashed 2 different posts. Oh, no. No, that was their corner. And our defender smashed it against our post in trying to clear it. This is why they don't play normally. Glad I worked out what was happening there, because that was genuine madness. Now I realise. Of course, there's an advantage here. They're playing without their key goalkeeper, who is, well, now former Newcastle goalkeeper Carl Darlow, who had that's gone in the goal. Didn't look like he did for a second there. It's gone in the goal though. Medeiros picked up a knock. We can't do with injuries in this match because there's no one really to replace half the players. Stunjic gets the assist technically there, even though it's not really an assist. How good is their backup goalkeeper? He's quite good. New gen Portuguese backup for Birmingham. I mean, for a backup, he's pretty well-rounded. Better, yeah, that one. Just do something better in the second half. I'd spent the rest of the half just looking at, what was his first name? Fabio. Nobre, whatever. So we're losing. And offside, I was going to say. I suppose we better go a little bit more positive here. Now, I think, realistically, we've still got good players on this pitch. Oh, that was... actually, I'm not sure he was. I think our right back, was playing him on there. Now, Madeira, how bad's this? Quite. We're going to have to do something we've not done in a very long while. Utilise Ebersbach's other foot. Royce South's on a 6.52. That's not good news. Feistammer's on a 6.4. He's one of the players we have literally no one to replace him with. Not even Medina's here. Because he's... oh god. I've forgotten which... Panama. Nacelle. Carter. This is the problem with using sort of not top echelon international clubs when scouting for young players. Is they end up going on holiday. International breaks. When you don't want them to. Now, admittedly, this is something that's happened because of our FA Cup run, so we're actually a victim of our own success here. Because this would have been played, obviously, outside of the international break normally. Lee Tao, Nacelle, across Terra's back here. Hello. Now, you will keep that in, I suspect, because that would be a very weird highlight otherwise. It's not gone in. That really looked like it was their own defender who had headed it towards his own goalkeeper there. Might have actually been, because this highlight continues. That might not have been an actual shot. We have had the better of this match. I've just noticed the stats right there. 3 half chances in the entire game. 2 of them are ours. As soon as I say that, they get a clear-cut one and they score it. Can't be mad. Now, it's got to be said, we are playing a now third-choice goalkeeper. They're playing a second-choice goalkeeper, who's actually pretty good. Sorry, I skipped that. There's a new highlight. There's something I want to do in a moment, and we'll do it once I get to a position where I can click on people's names again. Longstaff. Yeah, that's Matty Longstaff. Even when they've got international duties going on, they still have players like Matty Longstaff they can bring on. That seems a little unfair. I don't think he's developed quite as well as he can do sometimes. Or at the very least, pre-January update, his potential's not as good as it is post-January update. Anyway, Ebersbach, across to Lee Tao. I've seen him develop into a reasonably good sort of lower-level Premier League midfielder, never top-end, at the very least. But Lee Tao's got one back. Feistammer is involved in this. Nacelle, Ebersbach, I don't really know why I pointed him out there. Lee Tao, though, gets in the end of that, and good finish. That's the difference between the goalkeepers playing right now. Has to be said, Trafford does actually have the edge in some of the technicals. Everything else he's worse in. I know which one I'd rather have in goal. Collins goes up front, presses, and I can't replace Feistammer because there's literally no one who will do it. I forgot I had Van Gastel available. Oh, comes back, Remy Davis comes on. Just saving the booking, really, more than anything else. Sergi, Nacelle, Davis is there, not quite there. Lee Tao is, still not quite there. And Birmingham come forward. Right then, come on then. Edgar, Edison, Dean, not that Dean. I know Richie Dean went on loan. I've forgotten where it was now. Middlesbrough, wasn't it? Davis. Right, so this has been worked back to basically the same player this all started with the highlight on. And Acevedo on the far side. Whips it in. Corley Woodrow is there. They've acquired him from Barnsley. I suspected he would come back to the Championship after Barnsley's relegation to League Two. Took him to January, actually, for that to happen, surprisingly. But here he is, popping up, headers in, Trafford's letting it go in. Not a great. Reasonable reflexes to get a save, just wasn't a brilliant save in the end. In terms of these stats, we're on top of it. But as soon as you factor chances in, we've had 4 half chances. Actually, that is still reasonably decent. We've had none clear before half. Arguably not a 3-1, but it's an unsurprising loss. I don't really know what to say. One of those days. Sort of, yeah, I guess. It's one of those days, but it's one that we made for ourselves. Like I said, no matter what happened, we stayed in the playoffs, but 1 point separates us from Stoke, 2 separates us from Crystal Palace, and then it's 4 back to Fulham. And arguably at this point, we'd say Brentford are probably the last team we kind of vaguely expect to factor into this equation, potentially. 1 to 2 days, that's fine. I think everything's now a week apart in terms of games. I'm not sure there's any more midweek games. No, they're not. It's 1 game every week now. Considering the way this is poised, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the fact there's 6 games left this season. And realistically, I can't make an argument to say, oh, we'll just skip that one. Because at this point, they're all important. So 6 games left, 2 games per episode. We're going to do all of them. And, of course, if we stay in the playoffs by Friday, that works out too well, to be honest. That's not done on purpose. It's just how that's worked out. Have a good day. Ta-ra.